You ignored your mother's last call because a 15-second TikTok felt more urgent than her voice. You saw her name pop up on the screen, Mom, and you felt a small flash of irritation. You were in the middle of a perfect moment. You were sitting in a trendy cafe in downtown Seattle, the lighting was perfect, and you were watching a video of a girl dancing in front of a private jet. It was glamorous. It was exciting. It was everything your life was not. Your mother's voice, with its slow, tired accent and its repetitive questions about your dinner and your laundry, felt like a heavy anchor dragging you down into a boring world. You swiped the red button. You did not just silence the phone, you silenced her. You told yourself, I'll call her back when I am not so busy. But were you busy? You were just a ghost, floating in a digital sea, chasing the approval of strangers. You went back to the screen. You scrolled. You liked. You shared. You felt a fake sense of power. You decided to record your own video, a 10-second clip of your expensive latte with a caption about hustle culture. You needed people to see you were successful, even if your bank account was nearly empty and your heart was even emptier. The blue light of the phone reflected in your eyes, blinding you to the real world. Then, a message arrived from your sister. It said, "Pick up the phone. Now." You rolled your eyes. "Everyone is so dramatic today," you whispered to yourself. You ignored the message and started looking for the right music for your latte video. You were determined to make this post go viral. You were choosing a digital lie over a living truth, and you did not even realize that the gates of your own treasury were starting to close. You stayed in that cafe for 3 hours, lost in the spiral of the For You page. Every time you tried to put the phone down, a new video started. A prank. A recipe. A conspiracy theory. Your brain felt like it was on fire, jumping from one spark to another. You felt a strange pressure in your chest, but you ignored it. You saw another call from your sister, then one from your aunt. You felt a wave of anger. Why not they leave me alone? I'm trying to work on my brand, you thought. This was your choice, the brand over the blood. You finally posted your video. You waited for the likes to roll in. 10 likes. 50 likes. 100. You felt a rush of dopamine. It felt better than a hug. It felt better than a conversation. But as the sun began to set over the city, casting long, orange shadows across the pavement, the air in the cafe grew cold. Your phone vibrated again. It was a text from your sister. Only 4 words, "It is too late." You felt a cold shiver run down your spine. Your ego tried to protect you. She's just trying to guilt-trip me, you told yourself. You decided to go for a walk to clear your head, but you did not look at the trees or the people. You looked at your phone. You were checking the comments on your latte video. Someone called you inspirational. Someone else asked what filters you used. You felt like a king. You did not notice that you had walked 3 blocks in the wrong direction. You did not notice the sirens in the distance. You were so busy living in a 6-inch screen that the 6-mile world around you was disappearing. You were falling, faster than you knew, into a hole that had no bottom. The truth arrived not with a scream, but with a notification. You were standing on a street corner, still scrolling, when you saw a live broadcast from a local news channel. The headline read, "Fatal Accident on I-5." You clicked it. You could not help yourself, you were addicted to the shock. The camera showed a silver sedan crushed between two trucks. You recognized that car. It had a small, faded sticker on the back window, a flower you had bought for your mother when you were 10 years old. Your heart stopped. You felt the world tilt. You remembered the call you ignored. The time of the crash matched the exact minute you had swiped the red button. You finally opened your voicemail. There was one message. You pressed play, your hand shaking so hard the phone almost fell. You expected to hear her voice, but instead, you heard the terrifying sound of twisting metal and the loud, rhythmic thud of a car rolling. And then, a whisper. It was your mother. She was not calling to ask about your laundry. She was calling because she knew she was about to die. "Leo," she whispered through the sound of blood and broken glass. "Leo, I'm scared. I just wanted to hear your voice one last time. I love you." The line went dead. You stood in the middle of the sidewalk, surrounded by hundreds of people, but you were completely alone. The inspirational video you had posted was still getting likes. Your phone buzzed in your hand, another notification. Someone had started following you. You looked at the screen and saw the girl dancing in front of the jet again. The algorithm did not care that your mother was dead. The algorithm just wanted your attention. You were in the lowest point of your life, holding the very weapon that had destroyed your last chance to say goodbye. You looked down at the phone in your hand. It felt heavy now, like a piece of lead. It was no longer a window to the world, it was a mirror. You saw your own face in the black glass. You looked tired, pale, and small. You realized that for the last 5 years, you had not really lived. You had been a spectator at your own funeral. You had traded the warmth of your mother's love for the cold glow of a pixel. You thought you were connected, but you were more isolated than a man on the moon. You realized that the thief was not the phone itself, the thief was your own desire to be seen by people who did not know your name. You walked to the nearest trash can and stared at your phone. It buzzed one more time. A notification from TikTok, "Do not miss out. See what's trending now." You felt a deep, burning disgust. Not for the app, but for the person you had become. You did not throw the phone away, that would be too easy. Instead, you turned it off. For the first time in years, the screen was black. You looked up at the sky. The stars were coming out over Seattle. They were beautiful, and they did not need a filter. You walked home in the silence, a silence that hurt, but a silence that was real. You went to your mother's house the next day. It smelled like her, lavender and old books. On the kitchen table was a small notebook. Inside, she had written a list of things she wanted to tell you. The last line said, "Tell Leo he is enough. He does not need to be famous to be loved." You fell to your knees and cried, not for the followers you lost, but for the moments you could never get back. You realized that every later you had ever said was a debt you could never repay. Now, when you walk down the street, you see them everywhere, the walking dead, their heads bowed to their glowing screens, swiping away their lives. You want to scream, to tell them that the treasury is closing, but you know they will not hear you. They are waiting for the next 15-second video. You learned the hardest lesson of all: time is the only treasure we truly have, and once the sun sets, the gates of the palace never open again. You started today. You started living. Because you finally understood that the most important call you will ever receive will not come through an app, it comes from the people standing right in front of you, before they disappear forever.